So as far as the next coach, who's it going to be, Joe?
Well, I mean, I think we're at the beginning stages of kind of putting together that group, but certainly the pie in the sky best case scenario has got to be Jim Harbaugh. When you take, certainly from a media perspective, where you've got this, if you inject Jim Harbaugh in the middle of the NFC West, it probably becomes the most compelling or one of the most compelling divisions in football, because you've got instantly you kind of supercharge that NorCal SoCal rivalry with the Niners, with the way that things ended for him there. You bring back that Pete Carroll Harbaugh rivalry from the USC Stanford days with Seattle, the "what's your deal, bro" kind of situation there, which would just be amazing. And certainly he's what they need in terms of a quarterback kind of mind, the job that he's done with the various quarterbacks he's worked with. And one thing I like about Harbaugh in this situation is that he comes in and he's not one of those guys that just buries his face in that big menu, that offensive play call sheet. But he generates a balanced team. Certainly had success in the league already. So he's probably their best case scenario. I don't think anybody really. Certainly him leaving Michigan after 2 years, having gone, not beating Ohio State yet, he's got unfinished business there. So that's probably, kind of the big sticking point with maybe that decision. And then, you look at some of the younger offensive minds. Kevin Demoff kind of pushed back against the idea that, they would just go for somebody offensive because having a defensive coach recently didn't, pay the dividends that they wanted to. Kind of push back against getting an offensive guy for offensive sake, saying that it's got to be, just a, somebody that suits them. So, you're talking if the younger offensive guys, the names have been brought up are Kyle Shanahan, who we just saw with Atlanta, the offensive coordinator there, and obviously Josh McDaniels. There was a great piece by in the LA Times today by the great Sam Farmer about that mentioned. Josh McDaniels of the New England Patriots, and said that, obviously he was the offensive coordinator with the Rams in 2011, and how after the game in New England a couple weeks ago, he was kind of milling around the Rams locker room to see some of his old friends. So, certainly there's a connection there. There's a connection with Demoff, and I think John Gruden is, out of all the names, is kind of interesting because I see John Gruden as like John Madden, somebody who is a really great young coach, won a Super Bowl, and then got behind the mic, and you're behind the mic for 10 years. It's hard to get, it's hard to get from behind that thing to get back going.
But Joe, I will say this, turning it back again to the greatest show on turf. Dick Vermeil was that same guy. He was behind the mic for so many years, and everyone was like, "Why are you going with Dick Vermeil?" The game may have passed him by, and he led the team to the Super Bowl and a Super Bowl championship.
Yeah.
So it could happen. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying, don't necessarily discount. Although I don't know why John Gruden would want to walk into that situation right now. I mean, and the same with Jim Harbaugh. That is exactly the reasons why he left the 49ers, because that organization was a shambles and was dysfunctional. That I don't know if he wants to walk right back into that in L.A.
And paydays for broadcasters are a little bit different now than they were back then.
That's true, too. That's true, too.